Hi, welcome to your checkup. We are the patient education podcast where we bring conversations from the doctor's office to your ears. On this podcast, we try to bring medicine closer to its patients. I'm Ed Dulesky, a family medicine doctor in the Philadelphia area.
And I'm Nicole Rufo. I'm a nurse.
And we are so excited you were able to join us here again today. If you're listening to this episode, you will probably find it relatable to, we numbered our episodes recently to be able to better reference them because sometimes they do connect with other episodes, actually a lot of times. And so this episode today, when we get to it about ultra-processed foods, is going to be connected to episodes 17 through 23 and several other episodes. But if you're on a weight loss journey, that's how this is kind of relatable to you. And just wanted to include that here in the beginning. But before we get too far, we have to do our little opener here. Something I will never understand is the formation of a line, the mechanics of forming a line at really any establishment, but for what we saw, an ice cream place.
Yeah, well, it's forming a line when there are the opportunity, like when there is the opportunity for multiple different lines. I think there's like 4 windows at the place we like to get ice cream at the beach. And depending, I don't know like how this happens, but usually people, I don't know why they like flock to making one line, usually either at the first window or right in the middle, and then dispersing to whenever a window is available when it would be. But then there's people who are like getting in line in front of a window with no people in it, which I think is how it should be. Just have like 4 shorter lines rather than one really long line. And then people are like, wait, is this a line? Does this one not have a line? Can I go here? People are all confused.
Yeah, I do. I don't know when it starts or how it manages because the people working are behind this little glass wall or plexiglass. I don't know why that was hard to say. They have no control over how it forms outside. It doesn't make any sense. No. And then you get all these people that there's like a breeding ground for resentment because all of the people who chose to stand in this one line have just abided by what was done before them when... Yeah,
they're followers.
But they have 4 different line stanchions.
Well, that's what we did the other night. We went, there was one long line right in front of the first one. The other 3 windows had no line or one person behind it.
Right.
So we went up to the one with no one, walked right up.
Got our ice cream
and
we're
there
done.
were 20 people there before us. But I don't care. You're waiting in this big long line.
Here's the thing though. They had 4 different of those chains and stanchions.
Yeah.
Indicating that people should go in different lines.
They're trying to make it easier on people and they don't listen.
No, this is crazy. And this is not isolated to ice cream places. When my car got towed, this was much before we lived together. When my car got towed, there was one line to process the ticket. And then everyone had to leave and go to their car and get the registration and come back and get in the second line to pay the ticket after you had your registration. After that, everyone went back into the original line. And every 10 minutes, the line just kept doubling. So I went and asked, I was like, are you waiting in this line? And it turns out there was a second line. So I think this is a huge groupthink thing.
Yeah. I don't know if the group thinks though. So
no,
the group is not thinking.
I'm not sure the group is thinking in these moments. But then, this woman, this woman next to us, back to the ice cream, she seemed upset. Someone went and I'll take the next customer. And someone went in front of her in a different line and she seemed flummoxed. Did you see that?
Yeah. But you should have just went to where there was no line in the first place, babe.
Yeah. That's the answer. Let us know if you've ever had an experience like this or if you've thought about the mechanisms of line formation in our society. And this is important. Don't even get me started when there's online ordering and then there's people in person as well. When do you...
Oh, yeah. Like if you are just going there to pick something up versus, okay, that's another thing at the one place where we like to get sandwiches, where if they're really it depends. Sometimes like when they get really busy, they put out like the number thing to take.
Yep.
So if you called ahead and ordered something and you're only there to pick it up and pay, you still have to they make you still pick a number and like wait until they call your number to just be like, hi, like I'm Nicole, I'm here for my order.
Right.
When really the thought of ordering ahead is that you just go there, pick it up and leave.
Right. What do you do? Like, I need this number to approach these people who are working here.
They should really, it would be so much more efficient. Maybe I should tell them this next time I'm in.
Yeah.
It would be so much more efficient if they had like, I mean, I feel like every place in Philly, I mean, not just in Philly, like everywhere, has like a pickup counter. I feel like that place should do that. And then they just like put the name on it. Well, I guess that would require you to pay ahead of time.
That would require ahead of time payment.
Yeah.
And maybe this is why.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have a mechanism.
Or they have like a separate, it gets like very busy in there.
Yeah.
Or they have a second person with like a pickup situation taking payment.
Oh, like a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
That's the first one that comes to mind. People they're taking orders. Yeah. They're walking up the line.
I'm going to have to tell them how to run their business. What's that guy with a TV show?
Oh,
The Bar Rescue or whatever.
Mythbusters.
No. I forget.
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
What? No, it's
Bar
a
Rescue.
show. Is that what it is?
The guy goes in and explains how to like run a restaurant.
Yeah.
Bar
Who
Rescue.
is that guy?
Oh, I have no idea his name.
Or no. Gordon Ramsay. Is that the guy? Not on Bar Rescue, but he did.
No, that's the guy from Hell's Kitchen. He yells at people.
I know, but didn't he also?
And he's a chef. He's a good one too, I hear.
Kitchen Nightmares. Is that what it is? Gordon Ramsay's is the one that yells at people. I think it's him. He like goes into restaurants and stuff, and they
but
like
not children.
Talk about how what
he doesn't yell at children. I think there are some TV shows where he's on that he's actually kind to the children.
Okay, well, we're talking about adults here.
How was I supposed to know?
Kitchen Nightmares.
Hell's
Anyway,
Kitchen?
I need to be whoever that person is on that show about this place that we go to at the beach to make them run more efficiently.
Yeah, I think so.
They would probably get more business because there's been times where we walked in there and I'm like, okay, I don't want a sandwich this bad.
Yeah.
And then we leave. Yeah.
How many people do that?
Yeah.
People of this generation. We're losing patience. I saw this one post and it was like so weird. It was like, I don't know how they actually did this, and this isn't on our thing, but it was like this graph of like younger people have decreasing amounts of courtesy and patience. And I'm like, how is anyone and decreased amounts of tolerability for things? And I'm like, how is any of this being measured? You could have just put like arrows on this graph.
I mean, yeah, that's how all internet science is.
Yeah.
Arrows on graph.
Arrows on
Clip
graphs.
art.
Oh, here we go. So we had an enjoyable dinner. I'm switching up here. We went to Chez Frites.
I think it's Chez Frites.
Chez Frites.
I think so.
They were very attentive. A Steven Starr restaurant, but in Atlantic City. And I got the steak. It was delicious. It was medium. And you got the what?
I got the salmon. It was fine. The whole concept, I feel like he built a whole idea on the back of unlimited fries, which like I love. But it's like a prefix menu. So you get a salad, which actually was very good. It was like
delicious
a white
salad
vinaigrette or something, like so simple, but it was so good. And then there are like 4 appetizer type things that you can pick from, and then 4 main dishes. It's like steak, salmon, lobster, and like something else. And it's just your meat and then a bunch of fries. And that's the whole quote unquote concept of the restaurant, which that's like another tangent I could go on. But yeah, it was good. The vibes were cool inside the restaurant. The Dirty Martini was excellent, and I would go back just for that. I think. I think
Tasty.
if we like sit at the bar, had a drink, ordered some fries, which were also very good, and then there's like an outside area, not like part of the restaurant, just like at the hotel that it's at. So that was cool. Although we didn't come prepared because it was like really windy and a little chilly.
There was no way to predict that.
Maybe next time we'll bring another layer.
And walking out, those colors in the sky were so vibrant over the ocean.
It was really pretty.
Yeah, it was really pretty. I wasn't expecting that. And using the new camera. I don't know if we've mentioned the new camera yet. Really fun. I love that thing.
Oh yeah. I just got a little like Kodak point and shoot camera. It was like on sale for Prime Day.
I love it. I'm obsessed.
But it takes pretty good pictures.
It does. It threw me off because the display itself like kind of makes it a little grainy.
Yeah, but then once it's on your phone,
you're like,
look
whoa,
a lot better.
Wow.
I got it mainly for our honeymoon to take like really cool pictures when we're there, and not have to like lug around something big. It's like very small, but
that's great.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I've been using it.
Been using it a ton. So the dinner was great. I was happy with that. Not the best meal we've ever had, but we had a great time that night.
Yeah, we did.
And I think maybe it was like the being out factor, like getting dressed up. You looked amazing.
I had to wear a new dress that I got that I haven't got to wear yet.
Yeah.
To wear yet. Oh my God. Do I know words?
I don't know. Stress-free best man. You could say that easy.
Again.
I can't.
We haven't talked about Trent.
No, we haven't.
Is that going to be for... How long has this pre-show been?
12 minutes.
Should we save it for another episode? We can do a Trent recap?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that. That sounds good. I like that.
Anyway.
Yeah, so let's dive in then.
Okay.
All right, so what are we going to talk about today, Nick?
Today we're talking about ultra-processed foods.
What if I told you that two people could follow the same healthy eating guideline, but one eats mostly fresh, minimally processed foods, and the other eats mostly packaged, ultra-processed foods? Would you expect their weight to be the same or different? So it turns out, we are going to briefly review or introduce the idea that there was a study that came out recently.
And we mentioned this in, I forget what episode. Yeah, we briefly talked about this in episode 22, where we kind of talked about calorie deficits, weight loss, metabolism, those sorts of things. But now we'll just dive deeper into it.
Yeah. So it's on the back of the this UK-based trial that came out very, very recently. And in prior episodes, we really dive deep into the study. Today, I think it's more fruitful if we define a little bit more about ultra-processed foods and talk about them a little bit more. But the study itself had about 55 adults who were overweight or had obesity. It was kind of small. 55 is not a lot. Everyone followed the UK's Eating Well guideline, but the only difference was one group ate minimally processed food and the other ate ultra-processed food. And both groups lost weight, but the minimally processed group lost what they say is twice as much weight, but it was like 2% of their total body weight versus 1%. So that's an important, you have to is that a whole lot? I don't know. You decide. And they lost more body fat. But it's this study that gets us talking about what ultra-processed food is and what it really means and why it matters for health. Before we get too far into the fun stuff, this episode combines information from that trial, which was published in Nature Medicine in 2025, and other educational materials based on guidance from the American Heart Association and other peer-reviewed research. Okay, Nikki, can you take us through what ultra-processed foods are?
Yes. Ultra-processed foods are factory-made products that are using ingredients more so uncommon just that you would have in your kitchen. So like industrial sweeteners, colorings, flavorings, emulsifiers, lots of steps that the food or whatever has to go through before it's in a package and in your store.
Totally. There is a classification of food that is used. It's called the NOVA classification. That's NOVA. It's widespread. Everyone's heard of the food pyramid. That was one we grew up on. Other people, like in their adulthood, that they're listening to this. But the NOVA classification breaks down food into 4 categories. And those categories being unprocessed or minimally processed. This includes things like fruits, veggies, plain yogurt, eggs, nuts, fresh meat, and fish. Number 2, processed culinary ingredients. So there's no doubt like these things were made to cook in oil, butter, sugar, and salt. 3 is a brand of processed foods, which can include things like cheese, canned beans with salt, simple whole grain bread. And 4 is the ultra processed foods, a lot. Packaged snacks, instant noodles, sweetened drinks, processed meats, and actually many frozen entrees.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Basically anything that's like in a package. If it's something frozen that you're heating up, very processed.
Yeah. And the implication of the study, and we didn't dive into it a whole lot, it's an open access study for anyone who's really interested. They were implying that the people in the 2 groups ate the same nutritional quality. Like they ate the same amount of protein, carbs, fats, and they tried to imbue that the only difference was the processing and show that these differences happen. So there's a huge reason that this matters. It's because diets high in ultra processed foods have some pretty significant links to weight gain themselves, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and increased risk of early death. And this evidence is a little tricky, though, because it comes from observational studies, which are just big population trends of people, very short trials, like the one that just came out. It lasted about 8 weeks when people were in each arm of the treatment, because I think people did both. So very short trials. And while they're short, they do show that people eat more calories and gain weight on ultra-processed foods compared to minimally processed foods. But I think there's a lot of burden of scientific proof there that, like, I don't think everyone's jumping at the media is. I've seen lots of things online saying, like, this study talked about ultra-processed foods, like NPR on Threads is throwing it out, and like NBC News is covering it. But it was like a tiny study. But that's because they're hard to do. Like, food studies happen most extensively when people are like locked in a hospital wing and fed a certain diet and measured in the entire time. How like inconvenient. Like, would you sign up for a study like that?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, but like, I mean, like the logistics of that, like you have to like take off from work, you have family, friends, like how do you even make that happen? So yeah, you're going to get small people. And if you don't have that like direct comparison, it's going to be from people from observational studies. And the big takeaway from this new study is that, like we said, even when ultra processed foods meet nutrient guidelines, like these were within the UK's guidelines of what food should be like, minimally processed food still leads to more fat loss. All right. Well, thanks for, tolerating my little rant with me about there. Can you take us through, being our culinary expert on this show?
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's true. Can you take us through how to spot ultra processed foods for your average person?
Yeah, I can. The first one is that the ingredient list on an ultra processed food will have a lot of ingredients, maybe upwards of like 20 on the back of the ingredient label. That have things like artificial sweeteners. You'll see things like flavor enhancers, thickeners, preservatives. One that I think is pretty stark difference is like different kinds of peanut butters, where like a Skippy or I don't know what's another Jif on the back of their label will have all kinds of things that you can't really pronounce, which is another kind of clue. Like if you're looking at something and you have no idea what it is or you can't pronounce it, it's something ultra processed. So the peanut butter on the back of something like a Skippy will have a long ingredient list, but then like we usually buy the one at like Trader Joe's, or Costco has a good one where like the ingredients are just peanuts and salt.
Right.
So that's still something processed, like it's in a package, but it doesn't have crap in it.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't like reach that ultra processed level. Maybe a grade 2 or 3 on the Nova.
People like to not get the kinds of peanut butters that are only peanuts because of like the oil and stirring it. But if you just store it upside down in your pantry until you're ready to eat it, it makes it really easy to mix up and then just keep it in your fridge and it like stays solid and doesn't separate.
I really do think people come here for this stuff too.
Yeah.
Like specifically.
I think also it might be Wegmans or maybe Whole Foods. I don't know if they still do it, but you can like, it might not be either of those stores, so don't quote me on there. But they have like
this entire thing is a
they
quote.
have a thing where you can like grind up the peanuts and then it gives you peanut butter or almond butter or whatever kind of nut butter.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This goes in the theme of I really do think that a lot of health and medicine starts in the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. Like even in like peanut butter, I forget what the ingredient is that's like toxic to dogs. So like, why do you want to eat that?
Right. No, I think a lot of it, I think we can afford to have a little bit of a chat about that once we're done spotting ultra processed foods. But you're right. Why would you? What are some other things you can look at?
Next one. Yeah. I'll go on a whole diatribe about the length of ingredients. Well, and then also like the salad dressing too.
Right.
That's why we just make our own salad dressing that have 5 simple things in it and taste better than the stuff that you buy at the store.
It does.
You know?
Yep.
Anyway. Okay. So we have a long ingredient list. Second one are things on the packaging that say like ready to eat or instant or like a just add water kind of situation. Mm-hmm.
Could be a sign.
Could be a sign. If something is instantly ready, there's no reason. Like mashed potatoes should not be instantly ready.
Yeah.
You know? Like
yep.
Boil a potato. It'll taste better.
Well, it's a little more adventurous too.
Yeah, adventurous.
Yeah, it is. It's more adventurous. What else you got?
The third thing is the quality of the ingredients. So you'll see things like, actually, I should say lower quality of ingredients. So things that are added sugars, refined oils, and refined starches. And the last one kind of goes along with the second one. So it's just the convenience factor of it all. So unfortunately, if something is very cheap or inexpensive, it is going to be more processed and bad for you. The long shelf life is also another giveaway that something's ultra processed. I talked about this in the Red Food Dye episode, which was 42, kind of using the comparison of preservatives and food. So like if you bake a cake at home, the shelf life of you baking a cake, it's not going to last for weeks and weeks and weeks in your pantry like if you just bought a packaged cake from the store.
Yeah, compared to a Costco cake that can unfortunately last for 5 days while I pick on it after a graduation party, which was kind of disturbing to me that was fine.
Well, it was only disturbing because of like the cream in it in the middle.
Okay, great. You mentioned,
and then the quick prep,
and then the what?
And the quick prep with going along with like ready to eat, instant, those sorts of things.
I have a couple points that are off the outline here to raise. It's so unfortunate that oftentimes the processed foods and ultra processed foods are more affordable. So I was having this conversation with this person on Threads, and they were talking about how they were pretty much priced out of healthy foods. And so they had to eat processed foods, but in more modest portions, which I suppose is a way to do it when you have to. No one said that this is affordable.
Because we were watching some documentary and the one family was basically like, oh yeah, like this food is great and I enjoy cooking it and I like eating it, but like in reality, we just can't afford it.
Yeah, it's a very real thing. It's very expensive these days. Everything is very expensive. And then at the same time, I would invite people to think about like what you spend other money on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see the argument of like, it's an investment in your health and it's a long-term thing. Like you'll be able to do more and live longer and have fewer health expenses later on if you invest in this. Or like if you're going to buy something that's not as healthy for you and you repurpose that and invest it in like healthier food, can you get by? Fair. It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
One other thing is they make this stuff hyper palatable. It tastes, it's like advanced.
Yeah. It's like engineered to make you want, like, crave it.
Yeah.
And want more of it, which is messed up.
It's messed up. And maybe if you're listening to this, like, and hope it's validating that there's a reason you can't put the bag down.
Yeah. It
was built to do that. There's a reason I'll put myself on the line. There's a reason I can't put the sour cream and onion chips down. If I'm at the store and I'm driving in the car and I haven't eaten, I open the bag and there is a 75% chance I finish the entire family-sized bag. And there's a reason. It is designed to do that. So be kind to yourself. But sometimes, like we said, it's all about what's in the grocery store is where all of this starts. So if you can't trust yourself because of what's happening to you, maybe don't buy it if you can. At least those snacks. So I'm going to give us some everyday examples of some ultra-processed foods. And we've talked about them before, but some other ones to think about to easily identify. Soda, easily identifiable ultra-processed food. Perhaps we'll do a whole episode on this. I feel like there's a strong community of people out there who are like very against diet drinks. But for someone who like has outright metabolic syndrome, trouble with diabetes, trouble with weight, I think in a harm reduction way, like diet soda is better for that person than a regular soda. Don't sue me. Packaged cookies, instant noodles, hot dogs. Some people limit their hot dog intake to once a year. Frozen dinners and sweetened cereals are all examples of ultra-processed foods. Can you take us through some things that maybe sometimes ultra-processed, but like it could depend and it's not 100%?
Yeah. So things like some yogurts, or mostly the ones that are like flavored, may have some additional additives in there. Protein bars. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of protein bars where you could go down, but at the end of the day, it is something that's processed. Whether or not it's ultra processed, I think just depends. I think some are worse than others. And then plant-based meats are another one. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like they're adding stuff into it to make it like shaped like a burger and maybe plus or minus maybe taste like a burger. So that's something that can be ultra processed.
Yeah.
Right. Like your black beans and corn and, you know, mushrooms and whatever, like shouldn't taste like a burger.
Right. That's where the tough, like, yeah, right. Like you would think it's healthier, but is there more to it?
Yeah.
And I think like that class
like
of food,
it's probably healthier to have the single ingredient of ground beef with like some onion and seasoning.
Yeah, maybe.
Depends how you look at it.
I think it depends. Yeah. So there's that. And then there's foods that are clearly like not ultra processed. Fresh or frozen produce, can't miss. Plain dairy, eggs, whole grains, and canned beans with simple ingredients. Can't miss there. Those are simple processed or just not ultra processed foods that you can't miss. And then just to list a couple health implications. Many ultra processed foods are high in sugar, salt, unhealthy fats, refined starch, and they're low in fiber. Time and time again, these are found to be implicated in high blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. And honestly, the higher ultra-processed food intake is consistently associated with worse cardiometabolic outcomes. And so, like, we just introduced a topic here. The same thing is that not all ultra-processed foods are equally bad. Like we talked about sprucing up a burger to make it look like a burger and like putting a bow on it and putting a sign next to it and said burger, as opposed to like a package of ultra-processed cookies that are hyper-palatable. Mm-hmm. So there is a little bit of wiggle room here, but it's just some stuff to think about. So we have some frequently asked questions on deck for you here. Are all packaged foods ultra-processed?
No, not all packaged foods. So things that are more minimally processed would be like frozen fruits or frozen vegetables, plain oats, or like just canned beans with salt. So things that really are, again, looking back at that ingredient list, are just like one ingredient, or like beans and salt, peanuts and salt, things like that.
Yeah. What about whole grain, packaged bread, or cereals?
So again, some are, but some are not ultra processed if the ingredient list is short, again, and free of any kind of like weird additives and like things that you can't pronounce. Like if you're buying, I don't know, like white Wonder Bread, that's probably going to have a longer list of ingredients than if you just bought like a loaf of sourdough from the bakery section and there are like 4 ingredients.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. Is it okay to eat ultra processed foods sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little bit hard to avoid. An occasional intake is common. I would say the goal is probably to make minimally processed foods or not processed foods the basis of your diet most of the time, to kind of support all of those other health factors like your heart and metabolic health, and then, you know, sprinkle in something ultra processed.
So in this next portion, we're going to bring it back to the study a little bit and talk about the key takeaway from this trial that was just recently published. They both used minimally processed foods and ultra processed foods to meet the dietary guidelines, and they both led to weight loss. Minimally processed foods led to more fat loss and better control of cravings. And what they think is that the processing itself may matter for weight and metabolic health beyond calories and nutrients, which introduces a very interesting possibility here. And so the study supports that aiming for mostly minimally processed foods, even if the ultra processed food option looks healthier on paper, may be better. And so when you're thinking about making those changes, we're going to talk here about some simple changes you can make at home to get a little bit better, but maybe not even perfect. So what things can we do?
So we kind of talked about a couple of like these sorts of things throughout the episodes, but one would be, again, reading the ingredient list, going toward things that are one ingredient or just a few ingredients versus a whole list of things. If you can pronounce everything that's in the ingredient list, that's a good sign. If you can't, maybe stay away from it. Building your meals around the minimally processed foods or not processed foods at all. Like maybe you make a salad where like every ingredient is just one ingredient. And then you're going to make your own dressing and get rid of that like bottle of Kraft Italian dressing that's in your fridge that's full of crap and canola oil. This is like one of my things. I have a few food type things that I will die on the hill for. And one of them is that our salad dressing is killing us. Make your own salad dressing. Okay, there's no reason. We have salad dressing sitting on the counter right now. It's just like 5 things, so simple. But all these other ones, it's like, why do I have to refrigerate this after I open it?
Well, the xanthan gum needs to be hugged in a crisp,
get it out of here.
37-degree refrigerator.
It's so easy to make salad dressing. Just get rid of your salad dressing in your fridge.
And you can find how to make your own salad dressing in episode 69, The Mediterranean Diet.
Yeah. It's so easy. Okay. I'll get off my diet. I feel like I could talk about this for a long time. Like I feel like in another life I would be a dietitian and just talk about food all day. Swapping things out. So like water for soda. I know that's a hard one. Soda's also killing you.
Is there like a
not to be dramatic,
like a bridge?
Yeah, you could do like a seltzer or like a poppy or what are the other ones? Olipop. There's a bunch of other.
What are those?
They market them as like healthy sodas. And it's basically, I guess it's soda-esque.
Yeah.
They have all different flavors. And they have ones that are kind of like mimicking like a Dr. Pepper or a root beer. So if like you need that fix and you're trying to cut back.
Oftentimes they're only like a couple calories too.
Yeah.
Like far less, like 25 calories, something under the order of 100 when your average like soda is like 140, 120, something like that. So you're making huge wins there and you still get that type of flavoring.
The soda one's hard, I feel like.
A lot of people have a tough time like, cutting with soda.
The best thing my mom ever did for us was not let us drink soda because none of us have developed a taste for it.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a really, really hard one.
Using like plain oats instead of the instant oatmeal packets.
Okay.
Is one, even though I know, you know, that brown sugar cinnamon one is really good, but just get regular oats. And if you need to sweeten it up, just have brown sugar and cinnamon that you probably already have.
Yeah.
Plain yogurt versus what?
I like this yogurt one.
Oh yeah. Plain yogurt versus like really like a flavored one or ones with fruit in them, which they kind of skeeve me out. The ones with like fruit in the bottom. Yeah.
But you can like add your own fruit.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been doing.
Add
I've been, like,
your own fruit.
Building my own yogurt, adding my granola. I want it a little sweeter. I put my little honey on there. I want my blackberries in there. I put my blackberries in there and it's delicious instead of buying the one that already has it in it. And this one's like 120 calories. It's the Oikos Pro. It's like $120 on the calories and like loads of protein. It's a huge win.
Another thing you could do, I know fruits and veggies can be very expensive. We just bought a lot today. That was probably really expensive. So you can use like frozen fruits and frozen veggies for convenience. If you have to, ideally ones that, you know, are just like the broccoli florets or whatever, not ones that are kind of like made with a lot of sauces. The freezing, I think I mentioned this before, like freezing a vegetable or freezing a fruit changes like the structure of the fiber in it. So there's not as much fiber in it, but if you're not really worried about that, I don't know why. That's also something I like hang up on.
And if you are worried about how much fiber you should get in your diet, we have a basic balanced nutrition episode 19.
We do. And then keeping minimally processed snacks ready. So again, fruit, plain popcorn. You can make your own popcorn, which is another good way to, which we do. But then you can also like control what's in it and you can use like a higher quality single origin olive oil or like just like a pat of butter. And like, you know, that's just the kernel and this butter.
We're pulling the ripcord,
and salt,
getting the engine going.
Yeah. And starting small, I think probably like replacing one thing a day and going from there is more realistic than just overhauling your entire diet overnight, which is not realistic at all.
It's not at all. And you're totally right. Cause this falls in the line of like any sort of behavior change that people try to do. And I would say, we talked about if it's like Mediterranean, try to incorporate fish 2 times a week. So maybe you just like go in your pantry and take a look around, see what's in there, and then try to make one of these swaps the next time you go to the grocery store. Because it truly is like, it's well known, this is going to be helping your health in the long run.
Get rid of your salad dressing.
Yeah, you do not like salad dressing.
I don't.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming back to another episode of Your Checkup. Hopefully you were able to learn something for yourself, a loved one, or
A neighbor.
you could find us on Instagram. You could follow us on Threads, which is where we are most active. You could send us an email, yourcheckuppod@gmail.com. And most importantly, we look forward to having you come back again. Feel free to share this episode with someone if you learned something. But moreover, until next time, stay healthy, my friends. I'm Ed Dulesky.
I'm Nicole Rufo.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
This information may provide a brief overview of diagnosis, treatment, and medications. It's not exhaustive and is a tool to help you understand potential options about your health. It doesn't cover all details about conditions, treatments, or medications for a specific person. This is not medical advice or an attempt to substitute medical advice. You should contact a healthcare provider for personalized guidance based on your unique circumstances. We explicitly disclaim any liability relating to the information given or its use. This content doesn't endorse any treatments or medications for a specific patient. Always talk to your healthcare provider for a complete information tailored to you. In short, I'm not your doctor.
I am not your nurse.
And make sure you go get your own checkup with your own personal doctor.